Hi and welcome, Martina here with the second video for Spellbinders with the new Flea Market Finds collection. I decided that I want to create a more vintagey project this time because the collection is kind of vintagey and my card was something like a modern vintage card, so I thought something really vintagey would be nice. I have a piece of cardstock, a 6 by 12 inch, and I start with some distress oxides, frayed burlap, gathered twigs, and pumice stone. I am trying to create my own pattern paper, which I can then die cut these envelopes from. I prefer to start with the darker colors because then I can see how the color is spread on the paper. But there will for sure be people who tell you different. And in the end of the day, I personally think it's personal preference. So you do you. I prefer going in with the darker colors first and then filling the white gaps, which I can leave on purpose lighter, filling in with the lighter colors. I'm not very careful. I don't take care about perfect blending or something like that because in the end of the day, it won't matter with this technique because you will see so little of the ink blending that the ink blending is really just about the color on the paper. When I'm done with the browns, I'm going in with some bluish and green tones. These are Salvaged Patina, Peacock Feathers, and Speckled Egg. And I'm doing the same thing as before. Now I'm trying to create a aged look on the paper. And I think this works pretty well and is very easy to do with these colors and with this technique. It's just about adding layers, playing with darker tones, lighter tones, and going in with something different again. As soon as I've been done with my background, I made sure that everything is dry, so I just gave it a quick blow with my heated tool, and then I'm starting to add some more depth and texture and layers to my background by stamping. I'm using the Reading Matters stamp set and the Sign Here stamp set, which also come with this release. And I'm just going in and choosing different stamps and using them with the inks I've been using to color my background paper and some additional inks. I think here too you could totally browse your stash of ink pads you have and then just use whatever you think matches. I'm using with some stamps, I'm using first, second, and third generation stamp imprints. With some, I just use the first generations. I really try to, get some variety and playfulness and interest to it. The last stamping image I'm adding is with a dye ink just to get some more stronger contrast, I think. And as I said, you could use whatever ink you like and whatever works for you. And you can end up with something like this. As this piece is 12 inches long, I had enough paper to cut 3 envelopes from it. As these envelopes should be really vintagey, I'm trying to darken all the edges. This is a thing I think adds this real true vintage feeling and it gives your project more edginess. I don't know how to say it else, but I think it really changes or it has a big impact on your projects if your edges are darkened or not. And I'm doing this with a blender brush and the brown ink I've been using for the background. As next step, I'm then gluing the envelopes together. For this, I'm using my bone folder to make sure all these creases are done nicely and stick well when I glue them with my Burley Arts glue. I have then used this scalloped rectangle die from the set, from the mini envelopes one set, to create the insert for my envelopes. And there is a good work stamp on the stamps from the collection, and I think this is a very nice little note to add to these envelopes. So this could be just like little notes of encouragement which you could just give away or place in a secret space. I think this is a nice little idea. That's why I decided to add this stamp to all of the 3 inserts of the envelopes. I'm making sure each envelope has an insert, and then I've been thinking of how to close these envelopes and decided to use the circle die from the mini envelopes 1 set, and then just add one of the round stamps from the stamp sets. But before I do so, I went back in and used just the leftover color on my blender brushes to include the colors of my background papers also to these closing circles. Again, it doesn't matter so much if it's done nicely, because the stamped image will cover a lot of the color and you will barely notice if there are any mishaps. I then use the same dye ink I've been using before to add the last imprint with the stamps, just because this has more depth and a slightly stronger contrast, which I like for the closing part, and just stamp the circle onto my paper circles. I really like this idea. I think these look like little paper buttons. And then I am simply using, again, my Burley Arts glue, just adding a little drop on the very tip of the envelope and gluing the circles down. This is done very fast and the glue grabs so quickly that you can just work very fast, which it comes in very handy for me because I'm a very impatient crafter. As soon as I've done these, I just spent some more seconds on thinking about how I could close them well, and I decided I will just use a small piece of double-sided adhesive tape and the project is done. I will close one of them just to show you how they look when they are done, but as soon as this is finished, I will come to an end with this video. I really hope you liked the process. I hope you feel inspired to get creative. Maybe you even create something vintagey. And I hope we see you soon and wish you a wonderful day. Bye.